and welcome to another lawnfawn video. Today we are introducing our new Let's Toast pull tab add-on. This is an add-on die to our new Let's Toast stamp, and it makes it into an interactive pull tab die. And look how cute this is. Oh my goodness. So it helps you create a pull tab where the toast pops in and out, and the track for the pull tab is hidden. So this is so much fun. So we're going to go ahead and check out how to put these together and make 2 cards with it. So here is a look at all of the dies included with this set. This piece here helps you create the notch for your pull tab. This is the actual pull tab piece. Then next up we have a sleeve that helps keep your pull tab moving nice and straight. We have this little piece here that tells the recipient where to pull. We have a rounded slot piece that's for creating a slot in your toaster, and a straight slot piece that's for creating a slot in your card base. Next up, I'm going to use this awesome ruler by my friend Courtney. I'm going to link it below to create a mark in the middle of my card, which is going to be at 2 1/8 inches. You can do this pull tab on any sized card, so that's really awesome. Then we're going to create a line right down the middle of the card. Now you can just eyeball this, but I'm an exact kind of person. I like to measure everything out, so the pencil line is a really nice guide for me. So here for the notch, you can see I'm going to take that piece and butt it up right up against the top of my card, and that's going to make it nice and straight up against the top, and then I'll center it on my pencil line, hold it in place with some low tack tape, run it through my die cut machine, and now I'm going to have my notch right in the center of my card. Now here you can see the 2 slot pieces. We have the straight slot and then we have the curved slot, and we're going to be working with the straight one when we're working onto our card base. Now you can place this slot anywhere on your card, just depending on where your toaster wants to go. So in this case, I'm going to place my toaster right about here, and then I'm going to take my pencil and make a mark right at the top of that die cut. Then I can take that straight slot piece and line it right up with that little mark that I made, hold it in place with some low tack tape, run that through my die cut machine, and now I have a slot in the perfect placement for the card design that I want to create. Then I can go ahead and just erase that pencil line and no one will ever know it's there. So now we're working with that curved piece, and we're going to line that up right with the front slot on the toaster. We'll run that through our die cut machine, and now you'll see that it's going to create a slot that's the perfect width for the toast to go through. I also have a little toast piece that I've stamped and colored using my Let's Toast stamp set. Now we're going to be working with that main pull tab piece, and you'll see that the die creates some score lines for you right along either side of that main long piece. So you're going to fold in at the one closest to the long piece, and then you're going to fold out on the other fold line, creating almost like a Z type fold. So you'll see we're going to fold out in the other direction. So I'm going to repeat that one more time. So we're going to fold in on the score line closest to the center, and then fold out on the other score line, and then in on the one closest to the center, and then out on the other score line, forming our pull tab mechanism piece. I'll then use my bone folder to just crease those folds down really, really well. Then next we're going to take those 2 pieces and we're going to hold them up together in the center. So we're just going to hold those right in there, and then we're going to feed them through that slot, and then we can open them right back up. Next, we're going to take some tape runner and line that whole piece there with tape, so all the way to the top and the bottom. Then I'm going to make sure that my pull tab piece is going straight through the notch at the top, and then we can attach our toast to this piece. And you'll see that the top of that piece there is going to line up with the top of the toast. So right there, you'll see has a similar curve to the toast, and we're just going to line that right up. Then we're going to flip it over and we're going to work with the sleeve. So you'll see that the sleeve also has 2 score lines there. So we're going to fold along both of those score lines. And then after we've folded both of those, you'll see that there's kind of a little rectangle in the center in between the 2 score lines. That is where we're going to add our adhesive. So it's going to go right there. So I'm just going to put a little tape runner there. Then we're going to take this sleeve and we're going to line it up towards the top, up towards the notch, right there around the pull tab. And this is going to keep the pull tab from sliding back and forth. So we're going to stick that right down onto the card base. Then what we're going to do is we're going to fold the piece on the right in, and then we're going to fold the piece on the left in. So that little shorter one is going to go on top. And the reason we're going to do that is we don't want that shorter piece to get in the way of our pull tab moving. So we're going to attach that to the outside just like that. And now you can see that it's going to move straight up and down, and it's going to have barely any wiggle room instead of it sliding back and forth like it was before. You also don't need to worry about putting like foam adhesive on either side of the tab because that sleeve is going to keep it in the perfect placement, always moving straight up and down. So for the toaster, I'm going to use 4 tiny foam squares only on the outside edges so that they don't get in the way of my toast. Then we're going to take it and we're going to thread the toast through just like that. And then you're going to move that toaster up until it just covers the slot. So this is so cool because we're covering up the slot so it really looks like magic when you do the pull tab. So now you can see how that toast can move in and out, but the slot is completely hidden, which is so cool. So now you're going to put the toast all the way into the toaster, and then you're going to trim off any of the excess. So depending on how tall or short your card is, or where you place your toaster on the card, you may cut off more or less of that pull tab. Then here is our little pull tab piece that's got that cute little arrow. It's got a score line that the die creates for you, so we're going to fold it in half and then add a bunch of adhesive to the inside part and attach that right to the top of that pull tab. And that arrow is going to let the recipient know that there's something cool that's going to happen when they pull that piece. So there you can see how fun is that. That toast can move in and out. The sleeve is keeping it moving straight up and down, and it's just the most adorable, awesome card. So now it's time to actually create a card with this. So I'm creating a 4-bar card, and that's 3.5 by 4 7/8. I've got my card base done, and now I'm going to cut down some nitpicky paper to be that same size and layer that on top for my card base. Then next up, I'm going to be working with a 4-bar stitched rectangle, and I'm going to cut some beautiful plaid paper there and also this yellow striped paper as well. Just run those through my die cut machine. Then next up, I'm going to take out my nitpicky pad here, and I'm going to stamp my toaster from Let's Toast. So I'm going to paper piece it to give it kind of like a white toaster look, but with a little texture detail. I'm also going to stamp the smiley face and those cute little blush cheeks on there as well, and then die cut it with the coordinating die. Then I'm going to use the rounded slot die that comes in the pull tab add-on to die cut the slot for the toast to move through. So next up, it's time to use our ruler again, and we're going to make our mark right in the center of our piece, and then we're going to make that pencil line going all the way down the center as our guide. Then we're going to take that notch piece and line that up with the top of the card and also right with that pencil line right in the center, and we're going to run that through. And now you can see that this is a smaller size rectangle, and the notch die is working perfectly with that size as well. Now I'm going to take that toaster and place it where I want to on my card base and make a little pencil line right at the top of the toaster and use that as a guide as to where to line up the straight slot from that set. Run it through my die cut machine, and then I can erase those pencil lines so no one will ever know they're there, and I have my notch and my slot in perfect placement. Now before I start creating the interactive part of this card, I want to add my little floor on there. So I just made a pencil line where I wanted that yellow paper to just kind of be under the toaster as if it was a floor for the toaster. And then I'm going to take the sentiment popping up to say Happy Heart Day. So this is going to be a super cute Valentine's card. And I'm going to stamp that out in some black licorice ink. Then we can take that floor piece for our toaster and layer that right on top. Next, I'm going to die cut that pull tab piece, and we're going to fold in at the line closest to the center and then out, and we'll repeat on the other side. We're going to fold in and then out. Then I'm going to use my bone folder to really make those folds nice and sharp. Then we can take the whole thing, put those two pieces together, just like that, and then we can feed it right through the slot of the card, and we can open those pieces right back up again. Next, we're going to take some tape runner and we're going to run it along that whole piece right there, all the way top to bottom. And then we can go ahead and take the toast and line it up with the top of the white piece, just like that. Now you can see how that toast is going to move up and down. Now next up, we're going to add our sleeve to make sure that our pull tab piece is moving nice and straight up and down. So we're going to fold along the 2 score lines that the die created for us, and we're going to add some adhesive in the middle there, in between those 2 score lines. We'll flip it over, line it up with our pull tab piece and press down. And then we're going to add some adhesive to that smaller flap, and that flap is going to be adhered to the outside of the whole sleeve, just like that. And now our pull tab is moving straight up and down. So next up, we're going to take our foam squares and put them on either side of the toaster. All we need is just 4 on there. And then we're going to thread that toast through. and we can attach that toaster right down onto the card, making sure we cover up that slot with the toaster. And now you can see just how cute that is. I'm going to put the toast back in the toaster, and then I'm going to trim off any of the excess. So here you can see that we're trimming off a lot more since this is a smaller size rectangle. So I love that it's totally customizable. And then we're going to use that same yellow stripe paper, and we're going to run that through with the little pull tab piece, add some adhesive to that, and then just add that right on there so that the recipient knows what to do. And it's a really pretty decorative edge. I love the pop of color it adds to the top. Now next up, I'm going to put this onto my card with some foam tape. And the reason I like to put it on with foam adhesive is that it makes it easier to be able to get your fingers in there and grab that pull tab. So I'm going to add the foam tape to the back and add that right onto my card base. And now you can see just how cute this is. Oh my goodness, I can't get over how adorable this is. These cards are so quick and easy to do, and they are so much fun. So next up, I'm going to be recreating a card by Yainea. So thank you so much, Yainea, for letting me recreate your card for the video. And we're going to be using some really rainbow paper. So I'm going to take out that rainbow school-lined paper there, and we're going to trim that down, this time to a standard size card. So this is going to be 5.5 by 4.25. And we're going to make our same pencil mark. So we're going to make the mark in the middle, and then we're going to make our line all the way down the center. We can then take the notch die, butt that up right against the top of the paper, line it up with our pencil line, run it through the die cut machine, and now we have a perfectly centered notch. Now I'm going to work on some of the decorating for this card. So I'm going to die cut this beautiful stitched rectangle frame out of the woodgrain cardstock. And I'm also going to cut this Scripty Hello die out of Guava Cardstock and then a bunch of white cardstock as well. And I'm going to stack all of these die cuts together to create a really cool dimensional Scripty hello, which looks amazing. I love kind of the white below and the cool just popped up look that it gives. So I'm going to layer the 3 white ones, and then I'm going to add the guava one right on top. And I just love the look and the 3-dimensional of it. I'm also going to take that scalloped rectangle frame there, and I'm going to lay that right onto the card and then use my scissors to cut off any of the frame that was going into the notch. So this way it's going to look really, really custom because it's going to have that really cool frame all the way around. The next step is to use that curved slot die on the Let's Toast toaster. So we're going to line that up right with that first little slot there, and then we can go ahead and run that through the die cut machine, and now we have a slot that's perfect for the Pop-Tart. And that's what's so cool about this die, is that it works with the toaster and it works with the Pop-Tart as well. So the reason I added the hello on there and the frame is I needed it as a guide as to where I was going to put my toaster so that I can make that little mark that's going to tell me where to put that straight slot that's included in the die. So we're just going to line that up with that little mark that we made, run it through the die cut machine, and now we have that slot in perfect placement, and we can erase that pencil line. I've die cut the pull tab piece, and once again we're going to fold in on the score line closest to the center, and then we're going to fold out. And then we'll repeat the same thing on the other side. Then I'm just going to take my bone folder to really reinforce those creases. We're going to take those 2 pieces together, hold them together, run it through the slot, and then open them back up. Then we can add some tape runner all over those pieces, just like that. And then we can add the toaster, once again lined up towards the top of that piece, just like that. And you can see how cute that toaster pastry looks. Oh my goodness. Now, right here, I'm going to go ahead and do my stamping. And I was a little bit nervous to stamp with that already on there, but I needed to know where that pastry was going to be before I stamped the poppin' up to say. And it ended up working out, thank goodness. Now here you can see I'm going to be working with the sleeve. So I folded along the score lines that those created for me, added some adhesive to the middle, and then I added that sleeve to the back of the card. So just like that, we're going to add that sleeve, attach it to the card base, then we're going to fold the right piece in, and then we can add some adhesive to the piece on the left, and we can fold that so that it's on the outside of the whole sleeve. And this is going to keep that pull tab moving nice and perfect. Now we're going to take some foam squares and put them on either side of the toaster, thread that Pop-Tart through our toaster, and attach it, making sure to cover up any of that slot with the toaster. We'll put the toaster pastry in the toaster, and then we're going to trim off any of the excess of the pull tab die. And then we can take our little decorative pull tab piece, fold it in half, add some adhesive to that, and then add that onto the pull tab. And I love that pop of color. It's so pretty. It's just adorable. So here I'm going to create a standard size card that's going to be 5.5 by 4.25. And you'll see that I put a ton of foam squares all along the back of that card, and I attached it right onto my card base. Here I have my milk and cookies stamp set. So I went ahead and colored in some milk because I thought that would be the perfect addition there to our little Pop-Tart. I think it's just adorable. And then we can add that hello on there. And that's one of the things I love about this set. It's super cute for Valentine's, but it works for all year round. So you can see here we did popping up to say hello, but you could easily stamp happy birthday below there, thank you, anything that you can think of, which I think is so awesome. So here I took a little heart die that's in our mini pop-up box, and I die cut a bunch of them in craft cardstock and then stacked them all together, kind of like how I did the hello, and then I attached to the top of it one in some pixie dust sparkle cardstock and then layered that right onto the toaster so it would be this cute little dimensional heart. And now you can see how much fun is this card. Oh my goodness, I love the little colored sprinkles on the little pastry and how he's coming in and out of the toaster. It's so cute and such a fun interactive card. Now here we have some gorgeous cards by the design team, and this card by Kay is so beautiful. I love how she created the interactive card with the Pop-Tarts and how she added the icing to the Pop-Tarts with pattern paper. It's such a beautiful look. Here's the card by Yainea that inspired me to make mine today. It's so adorable and so sweet. Megan combined this set with Also Thanks a Latte, and there's such a cute combination together. I love the whole breakfast theme of this card. And here I love how Elise created a happy birthday card with this. This set is so versatile and so cute, and I think it would make someone's birthday so special. And then this card by Elena is so sweet. I love her A Toast to Us sentiment and how she added the little butter and knife on either side. And last but not least, we have a card by Megan where she used the pull tab die, but not in the way it was originally intended. She used it with our cute little koala popping up out of the grass. How sweet and adorable is that? So I love that you could get really creative with this die and even use it for things that weren't necessarily with the Let's Toast set. I cannot wait to see what you guys do with this awesome pull tab add-on die, so make sure to share it with us. Thank you so much for watching today and have an absolutely amazing day. Bye!